Hi there, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. A Pierce City man is in custody, charged with shooting an Amazon delivery driver. Thomas Coy is charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. Lawrence County deputies received a call about 5:45 yesterday evening about a patient who arrived at Mercy Hospital Joplin with a bullet wound to the head. Action 12's Dustin Latimer is following this story. He has more.
Authorities say the shooting actually happened earlier in the day yesterday on Wednesday when a delivery driver was delivering packages in the Wentworth area. That's when officers say a witness said that he saw the vehicle drive off the road and crash into a fence. They say they were able to watch a video from Amazon that showed the driver pulling up to Coy's driveway. According to court records, in that video, the driver is seen slumped over in the seat. Deputies say Coy confessed to shooting the driver with a pellet rifle and then watched the vehicle crash into the fence. They say Coy also admitted to pulling the driver from the vehicle and putting her in a ditch. There's no official word on the victim's name or condition. I did speak to a couple of neighbors a little bit ago. They said Coy has been a problem in this neighborhood. They say that he has complained about delivery drivers going way too fast up and down this gravel road that he lives on. Neighbors also say that he has a hunting camera and has hunted on other neighbors' property where he has not been allowed to go. Reporting from Lawrence County, I'm Dustin Latimer.
Dustin, thanks. We, of course, keep you updated, folks. Jim Dodd of Baxter Springs will spend the minimal time behind bars in connection to a shooting in McCune last year. You see the numbers. The young man must also stay away from the victims, can't drink alcohol or use drugs when he gets out of jail. He pled guilty in November. The shooting happened in McCune in last February. Several shots had been fired at a house. Crawford County deputies say two people got into an argument. It resulted in the gunfire. The suspect, Dodd, then drove away. He was later located and arrested. 6 months before they enter the building, 8th graders in McDonald County have started their high school journey. Action 12's Jeremiah Cook shows us how.
Isabella Angelis says one of the most intimidating things about high school is the workload.
Because you go from having easier work to having so many classes that you have to keep up with.
And going from a junior high with around 30 classmates to a high school with hundreds of students is no small task either.
I know for me at least, people are scary, and then seeing a large crowd of people your age is just as scary.
Isabella is just one of 240 8th graders from 6 McDonald County junior highs touring the place they'll call home starting next fall.
So every year the high school here puts on 8th grade tours where we invite all of the 8th graders from all the local junior highs to come in and tour the high school.
The goal is to help students like Isabella get used to high school life before classes begin.
It can be a little nerve-wracking coming to a big building like this. Most of the junior highs aren't near as big as the high school, and so we're just trying to knock the nerves off for their first day whenever they come in as freshmen.
Along with seeing the layout of the school, the students get to see extracurriculars like JROTC. Isabella already knows she'll be in the high school band.
I play tenor saxophone, and I'm kind of good, not to brag.
But the sneak peek at high school has her thinking other things may be in her future as well.
And my sister was in drama, so she's like, oh, you should do drama.
Reporting in Anderson, I'm Jeremiah Cook.
Jeremiah, thanks. Let's head to Pittsburgh now, where the city's Neighborhood Advisory Council has hit the one-year mark. One of its completed projects was the establishment of a map defining boundaries of neighborhoods and the names each one has. See, not all of them do, especially ones established decades ago by coal mining companies. Officials say part of their work entails the connection of people as well as connecting the dots.
It gives us the opportunity to find participants in those neighborhoods that can help us on the ground improve some of those neighborhoods from a standpoint of social awareness.
If you live in Pittsburgh, you can find out hopefully what the name of your neighborhood is, but also if that neighborhood has an established neighborhood association or group that you want to get connected with, it's easier to do that.
Ray, do you have a name for your neighborhood?
No.
Oh. I just call we have a name. I also just call it the Hood. Call it the Main Streets. No, I'm kidding. Hey, we'll stay in Pittsburgh now. Lord's Diner, which delivers meals to about 250 people a night, will start delivering to the north side of the city on Monday, meaning there will now be 3 nightly routes to better serve those in need, which includes the elderly as well as those who don't have transportation.
If we're further north, you're not going as far. If you have to walk, you don't have a car, or if you are on a bike and trying to juggle 4 meals or whatever, it's going to be closer, so we'll be able to reach more in need.
What it means to me is that I have a really good feeling that people are not going to bed hungry.
Those interested in learning more about the organization or would like to volunteer can find a link on our website. Well, a Joplin man remembers the last meeting between the Chiefs and Eagles. Not the last Super Bowl meeting, just the last meeting. He loved it. You're about to see why. Here's Action 12's Gretchen Bolander.
I think it might be the biggest game of the year, and my team is playing every other native around here's team, and I am totally outnumbered.
Not something that bothers Jim Johnson of Joplin, who is a diehard Eagles fan. His man cave has every possible kind of team swag, setting the right mood to watch any game.
When we do allow guests to come over, we have a secondary TV set above the fireplace that we allow the guests to watch the smaller TV, but they are muted. So we watch the good team, the good game on our set, and the other people that come over can watch the other game on the smaller set.
There has been a lot of smack talk this week, like a chat he had with a coworker.
She goes, "Are you ready for this again? You know what happens last time we met?" And I went, "Do you?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, we won the Super Bowl." I said, "We've met since then, and we beat you 21-17 in Kansas City." And she goes, "Oh, I didn't remember that." I went, "I did."
But Jim says most Chiefs fans have been good-natured about it.
There is a small percentage of people, and you know who you are, that really like to stir it up a little bit and try to throw jabs, but most of it has been very friendly bantering.
He adds he is looking forward to seeing his Birds in a competitive Super Bowl that will likely depend on the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. He knows who he wants to win.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Go Birds.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Gretchen Bolander.
I love the enthusiasm. When I was a kid, there was a brief time where I loved a handful of teams because I didn't grow up. The closest team to me when I was growing up was Cincinnati Bengals. So I love Chris Collinsworth, when he's wide receiver there. I love Dan Marino, and I loved Ron Jaworski, the former quarterback of the Eagles. They were a fun team to watch back then. So anyway, hoping for a good game on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like in that story I was being called out for being a Chiefs fan.
Right, yeah. He was Chiefs shaming you, yeah.
I will try to tone it down this weekend for sure. Yes, hey, we're looking at cold weather by Super Bowl Sunday. We could see high temperatures only in the 30s to wrap up the weekend. That sets the stage for wintry weather next week. More on the forecast is next. Here's today's numbers.
This is KOTE Action 12 News at 6. And now, your Storm Tracker forecast with meteorologist Ray Foreman.
We could see a little patchy drizzle tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I think the rain is pretty much done with us for now until we get into next week. We are looking at breezy conditions. Tomorrow night, a southeast wind. By Saturday, that turns around to the north, and that's going to bring in much colder weather for the rest of the weekend. High temperatures on Saturday might happen before noon before we start to see that thermometer plummeting. Wintry weather for next week, maybe starting as early as Monday afternoon, continuing Tuesday, Wednesday as well. Much colder air is going to stay with us next week too. On the T.H. Rogers camera, we do have a few clouds still across Newton County. In Neosho right now, it's down to 39. We have a north wind. We have seen a northeast wind around Joplin. Still cloudy at the airport, but you get north and west of Joplin, we have seen some clearing out there. But in Joplin right now, temperature 40 degrees. And again, we still have a northeast wind. That's going to keep the cool air in place tonight. Otherwise, we are in the low 40s across much of northeast Oklahoma. Then you see 30s here also along and east of I-49. Of course, Neosho already at 39 too. Here's the leading edge of that cool air. Caused the drizzle from last night. That has has since tapered off. The fog is gone too, so that's a step in the right direction. But as the center of that high moves on to the east of us, it's allowing a little bit more moisture to come back on the northern side of this front. By the time we get towards tomorrow morning, I think we're going to see a little patchy drizzle once again, just a small window of opportunity for that as this warm front starts to lift back to the north. It doesn't warm us up much tomorrow, but it will allow us to get back into the 50s on Saturday. Tonight, though, 34 for low temperature, increasing clouds. Tomorrow, 45 for a high, and we will see a breezy east wind. Could be gusting to around 20 miles an hour, eventually turning around to the southeast. Now, the reason for the warm-up, another storm system moving across the northern plains. As it does, we're going to see warm air rushing northward, but in behind that, we're going to see much colder weather coming in by Saturday. Again, this is Saturday morning, 6 a.m. We see the wind turning around to the north, and that's going to allow those temperatures to fall back into the 20s by Saturday night into Sunday, and the cold weather just continues to build in from there. We're looking at all these blue colors here with the extremely cold air staying just to the north of us, closer to the U.S.-Canadian border. But along the 4 states, along I-44, we're going to be at some shallow cold air, and unfortunately, what typically happens then is we start to see freezing rain or possibly some sleet and drizzle associated with that too. But that's for the Monday night time frame. We see a change over to a little bit of wintry weather. Right here where you see this pink color, so that's south of I-44, maybe south of Highway 60, and then a change over to snow during the day as we head into Tuesday. Until then, though, 52 on Saturday, and the much colder weather coming in with this. The wintry weather starting possibly as early as Monday night into Tuesday, wintry mix, and snow likely still on Wednesday. Stay with us. The 4-State Sports Report is up next.
This is the Roberkey of 4-State Sports Report with Michael Imami.
Well, even after National Signing Day, the signings continue. Frontenac's Jaden Houghton has made his decision on where he's going to continue his football career, and he'll be staying a little bit closer to home at Pitt State. The Gorillas pick up a major addition in Houghton this season. The senior had 23 catches for over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns as well. He also picked up 5 sacks on the defensive side. When speaking with him, Houghton told us he is a local kid, so it was a dream come true. It may only be Thursday of Super Bowl week, but it's the final time the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs are speaking ahead of the big game. Our PJ Ziegler once again is outside the Superdome in New Orleans with more on the Chiefs and their quest for history. Hello, PJ.
Hello, Michael. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs are chasing rare history on Sunday. They're trying to become the first NFL team to win 3 straight Vince Lombardi trophies. And there's one team standing in their way, and that would be the Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs back on the practice field today. They are healthy. They are ready to go, according to head coach Andy Reid. Today was a normal practice day for the Chiefs. They're trying to polish up the game plan this week for slowing down Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and finding a way to score points on that Eagles defense. This run to a three-peat for the Chiefs has been nothing short of a grind.
You know, I'd equate it to studying for finals where you just completely exhausted that week, mentally, physically, to get yourself ready, and then you go out and you cut it loose. And so they do that 17 times out of the year, 18, 19, 20 if you're lucky. So, but I wouldn't say it's one thing that jumps out at me. I'd just say it's that whole body of work of, 3 years of work in this league is it's like dog years, so it's there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, there certainly is. The Kansas City Chiefs remain a slight favorite over the Eagles on Sunday in Super Bowl 59. By the way, Kansas City has been here and done that before. 5th time in the last 6 years they will play for a Vince Lombardi trophy. Michael?
All right, PJ, thanks so much. This week, our Athlete of the Week features 2 seniors, Athletes of the Week from Webb City, who have been unstoppable this year for the Cardinals boys basketball. Our Cam Iceman was at practice this week to hear more.
2 guards who have taken Cardinals basketball by storm. Meet Eli Pace and Holton Keith, 2 senior guards for Webb City who are very familiar with sharing time on the parquet.
Started first grade, like you said, and it was just automatic chemistry. We both got along real great, learned the game together at a same speed, same pace.
We always had tryouts every year, but we usually had like the same team always, and it was just one new kid who showed up in sweatpants. And we all thought he was weird, somebody on our team who'd been there for a long time. jumped up and shot a layup, and he like caught it with both hands. From then, I just knew he was different.
Cardinals head coach Jason Horn also noticed the noise the dynamic duo was bringing to the floor.
Just remember our first workouts with those two and the things that they were able to do at a young age. We knew they had a chance to be special.
And ever since then, their chemistry has only elevated.
I know where and when and how he wants the ball and vice versa.
When he moved in 8th grade, that's when it all started to really click, and we've always played really well together, so in high school it just kept getting better.
Averaging a combined 37 points per game this season for the Cardinals, the two seniors have shown no sign of slowing down.
You'll be hard to find a better backcourt in Southwest Missouri. You know, they take criticism the right way, and, you know, they want to learn from it and get better.
Reporting in Webb City, I'm Cam Simone.
The Boy State Sports Report Athlete of the Week is proudly sponsored by the law offices of Wood & Peterson.
And that's your look at sports. Mike will have more news after the break.
Welcome back. Our red, white, and blue salute for tonight. Roger Wilson. He was a U.S. Army specialist. He also served in Vietnam. We salute you, sir. We, of course, thank you for your service. Local health officials say it is a combination of illnesses that have made a slew of individuals sick the last few weeks. McDonald County Health Department Director Mike Hall told us today flu and RSV have been the most prevalent in his jurisdiction. The uptick has caused several school districts in southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma to cancel classes, most recently in Oswego. February is American Heart Month, and while we may think our tickers are in solid shape, it never hurts to check. Action 12's Gretchen Bolander has more in tonight's KODE Medical Focus.
It's a good time to bring it out in the open for everybody, just to, be a reminder. Be conscious about your heart health a lot, because sometimes when you think about it, it might be too late before you actually realize, hey, I've got a problem.
So consider checking out your heart and entire cardiovascular system. The Freeman Screen team has a few options.
The main thing, though, is the carotid artery to check for any stroke risk.
An ultrasound test that is non-invasive and can identify areas that are narrowing or fully blocked. There's also an abdominal aortic aneurysm screening and a peripheral artery disease screening.
These are all done by ultrasound, so it's a simple test. You come in and it takes 20 to 30 minutes max usually, and it's a very good screening tool for prevention. So when you think about doing it early, you get your baseline, and then as time goes on, if things change, then they can be picked up on the screening.
And you don't have to have a referral for the tests.
There's a lot of people that maybe don't have a physician, and so the screening that we offer, they can actually set it up, and then if they don't have the physician, we can go through our physician finder, and they will help them find a physician to do follow-up with.
You can find out more by calling the Freeman Screen team at 417-347-6555. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Gretchen Bolander.
The KODE Medical Focus is sponsored by Freeman Health System.
All right, in tonight's Black History Month report, the story of a St. Louis pastor who had a bit of a connection to the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here's Kelly Hoskins from our sister station in St. Louis.
Every year we celebrate the holiday on the third Monday in January. The Reverend L. Nance Jr. had an opportunity to meet Dr. King when he paid his visit to St. Louis, Missouri.
This is a photo taken in 1962 when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made his only visit to St. Louis. Pictured Reverend Earl Nance Sr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other community leaders standing side by side. Reverend Earl Nance Jr.'s father and Dr. King were classmates at Morehouse College. Reverend Nance, who was just 9 years old at the time, knew Dr. King would change the world.
And the impact that he did make that led to the Voting Rights Act and other acts that paved the way for black people to be able to vote and go to facilities like everybody else.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. came to St. Louis, Missouri to speak at Washington Tabernacle Baptist Church, where Nance's uncle was the minister.
My dad did a wonderful introduction of him, and Dr. King got up and he mesmerized the crowd. Dr. King spoke to me there and asked me a question. Did I know why they were there? And I said, I think so. And he said, we're here to create a future for you and children like you.
6 years later, in 1968, Dr. King was assassinated. Dr. King was a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. King's birthday was approved as a federal holiday in 1983, and all 50 states made it a state government holiday by 2000. Reporting in St. Louis, Kelly Hoskins, Fox 2 News.
Honoring Black History is sponsored by Missouri Southern State University.
All right, once again tonight we're cloudy. We're going to see temperatures in the 30s, only in the 40s tomorrow. Could see a little patchy drizzle early. Otherwise breezy and a noticeable change by Sunday, only in the 30s for highs with a wintry mix likely by the time we get towards Monday night into Tuesday. Still several days out.
Before you're really looking at totals. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was going to say is an exact placement too. We could see some areas actually getting a little bit of freezing rain as well out of that. Looking messy next week.
Yep.
Let's just keep an eye on that part of the forecast for sure.
Sounds good, Ray. Thank you so much. And we thank you for watching as well. We will see you back here at 10 o'clock. Have a great night.